And all right, so we're recording. Welcome everybody. Good to see you. Thanks for letting me play hooky last week and take the day off for my birthday. I'm glad to be back. But Chris does such a good job that I'm having her host it again for us this week. She knows a lot more about Nepris, this tool, than I do. So I'll just watch the chat and manage the recording and play host and facilitator. So thanks, Chris. Have at
Okay,
it.
thanks, Clint. Okay, welcome everybody. So let's talk about Nepris. So what is Nepris? Okay, oops, see, it did it again. Okay, there we go. Um, okay, Clint already introduced me. So yes, I'm Chris. We know each other. So I may as well just take this slide out next time, huh? So what is Nepris? Nepris is a platform that allows you to connect with industries in different fields. So you can connect with people all over the world. I went way out to Bryce last year for Career Education Day, and we talked to a rocket scientist, and the kids got to interact with them. So kids can engage or they could just explore. So there's some different features. So we'll look at that because we know, and it's kind of, I mentioned to Kathleen earlier, that the reality is you don't have time or the tools to be able to go find these people. How many of you are in LinkedIn, which is like a professional network, to be able to go find those people in all of these that would be engaging for your kids. So it's really tough, especially in our rural school districts, to be able to draw in some of our bigger areas. They can go to the local colleges or the local businesses and find people. I used to do a lot of virtual field trips. We'll still do, but in virtual field trips, it was easy to ask the veterinarian in town to show what their, the vet's office looked like. But for us in the real rural districts, that makes it really hard because you don't have the resources. So there's a couple ways that you can use Nepris in the classroom, and they have a couple of different models. So the first one is industry chats. And what these are where uh, professionals in the industry kind of volunteer their time and they talk about what they do, what it's like to be a gamer, robotics, fashion, every profession that you can imagine, and they talk about what their job is like day to day. I've seen some where the guys that are designing some of the little robotic RC cars show how they build them, but they actually can take kids into their warehouse or to the office and give kids an idea of what it really looks like to be an adult in a job. And what I really like is not all of these people have college degrees. So this is really great for some kids that are maybe looking at vocational aspects. It does show you, what kind of degrees they have or how they learn to do what they do. Maybe they spent years, doing these different things. So it shows the skills that they had to learn. And kids have to realize, oh, if you want to be a professional gamer, you need to have math skills. And so now you can start applying it with some of the content that you're teaching and kind of help them to understand that they do need to learn some of these academic skills that you're talking about or you're trying to teach. The other model, and these industry chats, we'll look at them in just a second, but these are pre-recorded, and so you can always go back and view them as well. But then you could sign up to have a live guest speaker, so you can go and search for that professional and submit a request to have them present where they're actually live and doing just like a Zoom call like we're doing now, where kids can talk to them live in person and they can ask questions. On the industry chats, they usually take questions beforehand and you can type them in, and it's not really a live type thing, but the live guest speakers, it's for your class and they interact just with your class. Then there's a video library that you can explore. So if kids are talking about different type of career opportunities, you can go look and show them the different careers that are available in different fields. Like if a student is interested in cooking, go look at some chefs and see really what's entailed with being a chef, or gardening, or math. What kind of careers can you go with math?
When am I ever going to need to use this again?
Exactly. And this will show them when they need to use it. Good point, Clint. And then there's another one that's exploring career pathways. And I don't know if any of you have ever seen what used to be called Utah Futures, and that's gone now. But that was kind of a platform where kids could log in and they could look at different professions and they could see, oh, okay, well, if I want to live in a $300,000 house, and I want to have this and this kind of car, that I need to make this amount of money per year. What kind of careers have this kind of money? And then what kind of training and schoolwork do these kind of careers take? So it helps the kids. And this one's kind of neat because they can compare side by side different types of careers. So gives the kids some ideas, especially in our rural areas, because a lot of kids think maybe they're just locked into those jobs that are, in their area. But now, with Zoom and COVID, everything that we've learned so much, kids, they can do their job, a lot of these jobs, from just about anywhere. So if a student could stay in their hometown and be able to do a virtual career, maybe they could find something by going through this. Okay, so the industry chats, the first one we're going to look at, you can either register to participate in another one where that's just that text chat, or you can browse the recorded. So we're just going to take a quick look at the recorded ones. Okay, and so here, it's really neat because there's a little orientation video here. Over on the left-hand side, you can filter it. So did we get any, let's see, grade levels? Anybody want to give me?
I didn't put that in yet.
Okay.
Sorry.
Slacking, Clint.
I was waiting for a cue.
Yeah. Sorry about that. So I was going to ask. So Kathleen, what grade level are you teaching out there? I forget.
8th grade.
8th grade. So let's look at 8th grade. So now we're filtering by what's applicable to 8th grade, but then we can also filter by career clusters. You see anything there that kind of strikes your fancy?
Let's do the health science.
Okay. So there's 189 results. So here we have, there's 189 different sessions, chats from people. And so careers in the medical field, COVID-19, successful responses, hospital risk management, health science, a career in healthcare surgery, the life of an epidemiologist. Here's a surgeon. So maybe, okay, well, let's see what this looks like. So we look at the surgeon, and here's the video right here, but also it has a description. And so they have some key questions that they say, these are the questions that I'm going to answer. And then also, if you register for an upcoming, you can submit your own questions. But they kind of seed that so that they can answer some questions. So they'll talk about their job, and they'll answer these questions. And then here are some of the outcomes. This is what they want the students to learn. So they actually get to talk to a real surgeon. Okay. So how many kids would think that was cool? Maybe a surgeon, not so much, but maybe a gamer or video game developer, something like that. So you can go through and search through these, and again, you can filter them by content area or by the grade levels and search through them. Okay. Any questions on that? Okay.
Nothing in the chat.
Nothing in the chat. All right. So let's just move on. Okay, so that's the industry chats. Again, those are the ones that are recorded and archived that you can view at any time. So there's thousands and thousands of those available. Okay, so we showed how you can browse by the career or the grade. So you can see there's like 10,000 chats available. And so they call them chats. They're anywhere from 10 to 30-minute videos with that kind of chat feature. Okay, and so they also have created some video playlists. Now, these are a little bit different because these are the sessions, and these are the ones that you can request a session. So say that you're looking for, an epidemiologist or a surgeon, you go search, and I'll show you that in a second. You go search for somebody, and then you request a session, and then you schedule it. You give them 3 options. Say, I'd like to have it on Tuesday at 3, or Monday at 2, whatever. And then that's when they're live with you. They send you the link, and then you and your students can view it. You can also give the kids a code so that they can be, if they're at home learning, then they can join in from home as well. So these past sessions, these are playlists, and we'll go take a look at those. These are playlists that are made for you by area. So this is, let's say, grades 6 by 8, game design, careers in science. And this is just to kind of help you give some ideas if you don't know a specific thing that you want. And so they have a whole bunch: military, librarian, world of work, cool, okay, roller coaster. So they have, all of these you can scroll through. And it's really nice because it gives you some good details and comments, tells, what they do. She's the CEO. And so it tells what kind of skills that your students would need to have her kind of job. And then it gives you some more tags here on the careers and the different areas that it involves. So basically, and these are really well done. I've watched a bunch of them, and you'll be able to go in and watch. You can get a free account, and you can watch some of these too. But they're usually pretty well done. Okay. So, and then on this one, that's where the students are. And what's really neat is they record them, but then they take all the students and they blur out all the students' faces. So you can go back and you can look at all of these ones that have been done by other schools, and you can watch the recordings. And you'll see just a big blur where the kids are. Okay. And then, so if you want to request something, then what you do is come here, and these are what's called the templates. Okay. These are collections of requests that other teachers have made, because, before, when we saw all of those questions, all of those tags, the outcomes, you don't want to have to go make all that up, figure it all out on your own. So you can just go grab a template from somebody else's. So let's say grade 2 science, there's 10 sessions in here. Oops, I clicked on the wrong thing. We'll go back and look. I didn't have that one linked. Sorry. We'll go back and look at those collections in it. So these collections would open up and they'll have templates in there that you can look and copy. And I've got that on another slide. Okay, so these again are the templates that I just talked about. So you can copy others and then save them. So we'll go look at those. Okay, here we go. Got one slide ahead of myself. So here's the templates. And if we look at this one, okay, so these are past sessions that have done that teachers have built the templates. So you could look and see, and if you want plant life cycle, okay, so if you want to look at the details on that, then this is what another teacher has created. Second grade students are learning the life cycles. And this, if you had something that you couldn't find, you could write your own text in here and say, this is what I want to have, and these are the key questions that I want answered. So you
It's a
can
template for a request for a live session.
Right, exactly.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, thank you. So this is
That's cool.
just a template that you could use and copy, and then send that to Nepris, and then they match you with a professional who will then contact you and say, yep, I'll do it. Okay, so all of these professionals in here have been vetted by Nepris. It's not like you're just going out looking for some random strangers to try and interact with your class. All of these, they have to, you volunteer, and then they kind of do a little bit of, not a full background check, but they do kind of, check into you a little bit. So if you wanted to use this as a template, so you like that, you just say copy. Okay, and then you come in here and you put your own details in, and you just follow the prompts. Okay, and then you can send it off to your own, and then they'll contact you. There's a place in here at the end where it says what dates and time. You can add as many dates and times as you want, and then you submit it. You can choose to share it with other classes. That's when I've done virtual field trips and had multiple classes, that's been a really fun thing, because kids can see kids. I've had I was in St. George, and then we had a class in Alaska and another from another state, and the kids got to kind of hear the other kids, what they asked, and see them. So the kids kind of enjoy that too. Or you could just say, no, I only want my class in it. So you can have it either way. And then you submit it, and then they contact you. They give you a link and an access code, and all you do is click on that, and then you're live talking to that, just like, we did our Zoom meeting here today. Okay, so to schedule a live session, that was kind of that process that we just went through. So this is what the template looks like. Okay, so you could either copy a template or create your own. And then what's really nice is they have these activity sheets that are along, and this is new, but so after you have the session with the professional, you could use these activity sheets as maybe some writing prompts, or get the kids to talk about things, write or tell an adult 3 things you learned about this job, complete the chart based upon the presenter's job. So they have to really talk and think, and you could have them go go a little bit farther and find out, how much they make or what kind of demand that is by looking in the career pathways that we're going to show you next. Any questions so far? Okay.
Nope. Straightforward.
Yep, it is. It's really simple and easy to use. And you know what blows me away is I actually wrote a grant for this about 3 years ago as part of a science project, and I could hardly get anybody to use it. I don't know why. And then the state bought this all for the CTE directors for the older grades, and nobody uses it. And it's kind of like Utah's online library. It's just a huge resource that I think teachers, I know how busy you are, probably just don't have another at any time to learn another tool or trick. I sent Clint a funny picture the other day about all these tools that we give teachers. Sometimes you just need one tool. And if you've got a whole tool bag full of tools, it gets overwhelming. You don't know what to use. So I know how overwhelming it can be. So when we talk a little bit more about how you can use this, just know that I would be happy to help facilitate one of this. So the next thing we're going to look at is Career Explorer. And this one I really like because students can research and compare careers. So if we look at this, so you can do different categories. So let's say video game design. So if we look at video game design and we want to so there's, kids have to understand video game design is not one thing, right? There's many different fields that are available in that. So maybe we'll say a video game designer, and then we can add another one to compare. And let's say a software developer, and we'll pick a graphic designer. But so you can go through and you can compare all of these, and now you can look and see, look at the average, the yearly salary and how they're different. I mean, that's a way to get some kids' attention, right? If I just get a few more skills, then I can possibly double my income, right? And if you help them extrapolate that over a lifetime, what a difference that could be, because maybe that doesn't mean a lot to kids right now, that may not have that sense of money. But then here's got the career outlook, how it's doing, and then the required education. It's kind of I'm hoping it's not available rather than not applicable, because I just realized the highest paid one says no required education.
Software.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks like they didn't really fill that one out.
Yeah, that one might not be. But here it says, what they can do. And so some of the things that they need, do you have these basic skills, or are these things that you're interested in? So when you start talking to kids about what do you want to be when you grow up, right? What kind of skills do you have? And, what kind of tasks do you think you'd be happy? But look at some of these work styles. If you're going to want to make this kind of money over your lifetime and be happy in a job that you do, which to me is more important, but that's another story. You talk about the personality and the work style that they have, that attention to detail. And so maybe that, kind of gets kids to start connecting. That's why we ask you to put your name on all your papers, right? Or, submitting things on time. These are some of the characteristics that we want to see in these types of jobs. So they can get a really good idea. So they can really go and explore and see different types of jobs. Okay. Okay, and so again, then we just showed how we compared those careers, and so they can search all different kinds of careers. Okay, and then how do I get this? Okay, we kind of talked about that a little bit. Each of the CTE directors in every district has been given a license, and I've talked to some of them, and again, just like with teachers, it's just another task to try and take on, and many don't have time for it. So like I know I've talked to Drake, and he has a license, but I offered to help with Millard, as well as a few of our other districts to help facilitate this. So if you're interested and you want to do this, if you have the free account, then you get a 30-day trial. So if you wanted to sign up and do a free account, and then you could watch a lot of those recorded ones, and you can do one live chat, but then after 30 days, you kind of don't have as much access. But I have the premium one, which I have unlimited live chat. So if you went through the free, signed up, said, oh yeah, okay, I want to do this, then just let me know and we'll work together and I'll set one up for you. Okay, make sense? Okay, so before, I don't want to go to this one right yet because I wanted to go back And let's see if we can find some things. And I just want to show you about how easy this is with the dashboard. So this is what the dashboard looks like on the premium account. On the free account, the only thing you're not going to have is this create a session request and some of these tools and the professional development. But you can still go through here and browse the video library. And so again, this is just that wealth of information that we looked at before. And so let's see, who wants to look for one? Who's got a topic? Anyone?
Don't be shy. Turn your mics on.
Yeah.
Natural
How about
disaster.
that careers for people who love games?
Okay, so we can look here and we can just go to more details. And it takes us. So I can also share some of these videos out too, because this is part of the free version. So here, the trio of games. So, oh, I didn't turn sound on, so you're not going to be able to hear that, huh? But I'll kind of fast forward it so you can see. So here's somebody that's talking about games. So you can see them up in the upper right-hand corner. So games are difficult to make, time-consuming, so they're talking. And the ones that I've seen, they really talk well to the kids and they kind of engage them on their level. It's not like having, forgive me, a teacher or somebody just kind of telling them. This is somebody who's actually doing it and sharing what they know. So they kind of get excited about it. So here, choose your path, so they're talking about skill sets in here. So they really, kind of focus on making the kids understand what kind of skills do you need and what interests you. So what are you excited about that you would want to do? And so this one's 41 minutes. Okay, so you could show that, and you could just show that in the classroom or let the kids kind of explore. So then there's other different types of similar items. And then here, so there's no questions, but you could ask a question right here, and then they would answer it in their session. Okay, so here you can recreate this for your classroom. So again, that goes back to making that template. And then when you make a template, you could say, this is kind of something that I want. Okay, so let's go back to the dashboard. Okay, and then we looked at some of those reinforcement tools, those handouts. So they have micro lessons, and the activity sheets are what we looked at, but there's also lesson plans, and these are just samples. So, you could have a whole lesson plan and be that part of that whole unit and then bring that person at the end. When I do virtual field trips, teachers always ask, well, should I do it at the beginning or the end of the unit? And it can go either way. You can use it to introduce a unit to get kids excited. Well, this is what we're going to be studying about. Or we did one this was a couple of years ago, the Mars rover, not this recent one, but the one that went up before. And so we did it at the end because the kids had all studied about Mars and different things. And it was really neat because we were doing it with another school, and you could tell the teacher that I was working with had really prepped her kids well, and the kids had learned more about Mars, and they were talking to the scientist at the Rockwell space station where they were building the rocket, and the kids were asking really good questions. The other school that was on, one of the kids says, "Why is the dirt red?" And that was pretty basic, right? But these kids had been studying, so they asked some really good questions. And I'll never forget, this one was one of my favorites because there was a female scientist in there, and one of the little girls in the classroom looked at me and said, "I didn't know girls could be scientists." So think about, how we could show boys and girls different jobs that not necessarily, the ones that they think they know of, but you could just explore so many different options of jobs, careers, not just jobs for money, but careers and passions, something that they're interested in. So, and then again, that career explorer that we looked at, but it's pretty simple. All you have to do is, if you just want to, request a session, okay, you just create the session request. You could just do it from scratch, or and type in everything that you specifically are looking for, or you can go back and use those templates. And it's neat because you can save them. If I come here, if I'm browsing through things and I think, oh, I really like this template, meaning the outcomes, the session description, the questions, then I can save all of these. And then if I want to use it, say, okay, I want to do that one. Okay, then I can just copy this. Okay, and then I copy it, and then I go ahead and make my presentation or my submission for a session. So see how easy that is. You don't have to create a bunch of stuff. You don't have to write a bunch of stuff. You just find something you like and kind of model it after that. Okay. Okay, no questions?
Nothing in the chat.
And I got 5 minutes to spare. Okay, so let's see what
Good
else.
job.
I know for once, huh?
But I dropped the link to the roll in there, as well as the archive where the recordings are, and then our page on the, I've been calling it the Matt Miller videos, but we've added in videos from other service centers that they contracted out. So there's lots of good stuff there on social emotional learning and just a lot of great videos. And these weren't presented in our tech talks, but they're each about 10 minutes in length. And so if you want to go back and watch those at your own pace and then just send me summaries, I'm happy to award minus credit for those if you want to watch those on your own speed. And then next time we ought to be covering the Adobe Spark and Canvas LTI. We'll look back at Spark and show you how easy that is to integrate in with Canvas. So
Love me some Spark. When you talk
that'll be
about
next week.
Yeah, we're in one of the classes I'm teaching right now. We're talking about Utah's online library and how much different content there is between media and print and auditory. That the teachers are just amazed at how kids can take things in with their different learning styles. And we had a great conversation about Spark, about how kids can also create and submit things in their own learning style. Doesn't always have to be just a paper. Could it be, a Spark post that you can assign right out of Canvas? Could it be a video? Can the kids be creative with their submissions and use their skills?
Student voice and choice in how
Yep.
they're assessed. It's a good thing. So any questions on Nepris or anything else, Ed Tech, while we still have a couple minutes? Make sure you unmute if you would like to ask a question.
Practicing my weight.
We are.
Hey, you guys, I was just going to say, this is Jeremy. I was just going to say, I appreciate you guys doing this. I'm getting ready to start baseball next week, so I'm probably just going to have to watch your recordings and stuff, but it's been good. I've learned a lot, and I think at Millard High, we've got a lot of stuff out to teachers too that you guys have got us. So I appreciate you taking the time. I know it's afternoon and everything, but we do appreciate it. Well, we're just trying to figure out how we can best serve you guys in this strange year. It's hard to get people together in person yet, and we're happy it's worked for you, and we're happy you guys have taken advantage of it. And anybody that I don't know, I had a chance to watch all those Matt Miller videos, and they were pretty good. It got my mind going. It got me a lot of ideas and things. So they were pretty good, little 10, 12-minute videos, but they were worth it. I was going to ask you for a plug, so I'm glad that you gave one up without me having to beg you for it. Cool. Anybody else? Thanks.
And if you have any topics that you want to have covered, Clint and I can certainly get up to speed on just about anything that's being used for education technology wise, or anything that you want to explore or kind of try out. Let us help you with that. We're happy to help. And speaking of, there's some conferences coming up. USEC conference is coming on March 20th. That's going to be a Saturday all day. Virtual conference is going to be $25 for a great day. And then Rural Schools is back. That's going to be July 7th through 9th. The plan is now to have it in person in Richfield, and should be a fantastic conference as well. So we'll give you links and more information on those two conferences next time. I forgot to plan for that ahead of time. So if there are no other questions, thanks so much for your time. Reach out if any questions do come up. If you want to have Chris do some Nepris stuff with you and your classes, reach out to her and let her know. But we're here to help. Just let us know. And thanks so much for stopping by. And we'll hopefully see you next week.
you're Jeremy, you're excused. Appreciate you. Go do the baseball stuff. It's spring. That makes me happy that we can get in those spring sports. And when I got up this morning, it was light at 6:30, 6:40 in the morning. So the days are getting longer, and it makes me happier. So
Yep.
thanks, everybody.
Those of you that want moisture, the
you,
spring sports
appreciate
are
it.
starting. So
That's right. That's right. All right. Thanks, guys.
Okay, thanks everybody. Appreciate you.